It is.
Is it white stuff on there?
You know what?
It should be.
It's not.
That's a whole, that's.
Is that for what?
You look, what can, look. What you just say, look. Hold on.
She said, no, it's not. I'm like, that's all
I'm trying to get this live feed going. Look, I'm sorry, y'all. Wait a minute. I'm sorry.
I can't even
You
load.
did what my
I
daughter
still got
does.
one.
You're like, did you look today? Yeah, I looked. It wasn't in there.
Everybody can put it on their page.
Oh, that, who's like, oh, right now?
We should share it to our page.
Hold on.
Oh, they were able to make a selfie.
Oh, those salmon
Okay,
croquettes.
hers came up.
Muffin.
Alright, so what you guys have before you, actually, this is 7-Up pound cake. This is what I call a cup of breakfast. So there's hash brown on the bottom, eggs, cheese, kind of like an omelet, red bell pepper, green onions, yellow bell peppers, and then of course your fruit tray. And then you have mini cheesecake, some with strawberry topping, some without. There's also picante for those. I eat picante on my eggs and my omelet. And then there's ketchup, so some people do that. So enjoy.
Okay, well, I guess it'll catch up with me in a minute because I can't get. Okay, ladies, what we're going to do is go ahead. First of all, thank you all so very much for coming. And I had, you might want to turn the volume down.
Yeah,
Turn on. There you go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, put it.
And I had already explained where the vision came from as far as how did I come up with lay it on the table, and the purpose of having the food. And so it came because when you're with family and friends and you sit down at the table and you talk and you eat, that's where you let everything out. And so that's how I came up with the vision through God for my purpose, my pain to my person, my purpose, my calling. And so we're going to enjoy this beautiful, delicious looking brunch that was prepared for us by Miss Kim, who came and rescued me from Walmart. We're going to say the grace after everyone gets their food, and then we'll go ahead and get started and go into everything. And I just want to say hello to everyone that will be tuning in on Facebook Live. Thank you for joining us, and we won't hold it much longer. We're going to go ahead and get started.
Y'all can't be in the phone. You can't share it to the table. What I'm saying, all you do is just hit the share button. You can't click on it and go live, or it's gonna be.
It just keeps doing that. Okay, let me just share it. Share, I'm sharing. I just shared it.
Yeah, I put my headphones in.
Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Anybody want, what is this, cheesecake? Come on, we're in there. Come be listening to them.
The smartest one. My mama, she used to sub in my food.
Is that all?
Well, we're not done with you.
Looks like it.
I forgot we do that. Vegetarian.
Perfection.
That's all veggie, right?
I'm not prepared enough that everybody will get too much. Quit claiming all that stuff.
Yes.
Cool, I can grab another.
It's all veggie.
All veggie?
Yes, it is.
This is a strong one. From alternative.
But I do that for other people.
You need me.
So I guess I need somebody to do it for me.
I didn't eat all
Is everybody happy? Okay, who wants to volunteer and say the grace?
I'll volunteer for that.
Miss Brandy.
Everybody get their food on their plates.
Did you want one of these?
I'll take one of those.
That's the 7-Up cake.
7-Up pound cake.
7-Up pound cake.
Ooh, and I like because it's mini, so you don't overindulge.
Well, you know,
Well.
get more than one.
You should, okay. What you need? Oh, okay.
I was waiting.
Okay.
Okay, ladies, you guys ready? Mini pound cake.
I'm going to say the blessing.
Okay.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for allowing us to be here together once again
as women, as your children, and even through the hiccups and the obstacles we overcame, we are still here. We are going to collaborate today in spirit and in truth, and let us be honest, let us be transparent, and let us be professional, and just have a wonderful time. And we pray that the information and the things that will be said today will bless other people as well as ourselves and our businesses, as well as in moving forward in our paths for the gifts and talents that you gave us. And please bless this food and the hands that prepared this food today. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Well, first I want to start out by saying thanks, Brandy, for the invitation to come to St. Louis. And I would like to say thank you to all of you for accepting the invite to come. And I shared this before you arrived, Brandy, that they weren't sure what we were going to talk about, and so many of you in here, if not all of you, have your own business adventures, authors, and everything that you have going on. So yes, we were going to talk about sisterhood and all that good stuff, but as this week came in, the Spirit kept telling me it was something else that I need to talk about, something else that I need to talk about. But what I want to share with you right quick is the trial and the tribulation that I had on getting here. Just this morning when I arrived at the airport in Atlanta to punch in my confirmation, it said that they didn't have any information. So I called and they said my ticket was for next Saturday. Well, I know it can't be for next Saturday because when I spoke with the agent said it was for today. Also, my friend that booked it said it was for today, so I know that wasn't the case. So the enemy was really, really trying not to let me get here for this occasion today, but God stepped in before a tear could even completely form in my eye. It was immediately dried up. So that was the first thing. Then the second thing was when the gentleman said, well, I can fix this ticket, although it's not supposed to be, swapped out, but there'll be more money. It was supposed to be $200 and some extra dollars. It ended up going to $150. So I called my stepsister and I was like, look at here, I can't get in touch with CJ. I need to know, can you help me out? Unfortunately, she couldn't get there what she needed to do in the time that I would have needed it. So I ended up letting my friend know that booked it. They got it down, spoke with a manager. Long story short, I'm here. And I did not have to pay that extra $150. They fixed it to where it was adjusted, it was switched, and I didn't have to pay it. So that's just, it's something here for if not for everybody, one person needs to hear what I'm about to say. And so what my topic is, know your place. When I say know your place, what does that mean to you?
Understand your purpose.
What does it mean to you?
It means know when to speak, know when to be respectful, know how to treat people, know your place in life.
Okay.
I concur. It's knowing when to speak and when not to speak, and staying in your lane.
Okay.
I was gonna say standing in your lane because you don't know everything. I may know about a certain topic, but then this sister right here may be able to give me advice on something else. So I don't take the thing that I know everything because I don't.
Okay.
Same thing, staying in your place.
Knowing your position, where you are in that current present moment in your walk with God and in the kingdom business.
Okay.
I feel it's knowing your place is knowing your path in your lane that was carved out specifically for you, what your niche is, and no matter what happens and who else you may be around, you can learn something from everybody. So know what you bring to the table and don't be afraid to share what you know, because sharing is caring.
Okay, so I looked up place, the meaning of place. And of course in the dictionary it gives you noun and it gives you verb. So bear with me for a minute as I read some things to you. Noun place means a particular position or point in place. The second part of it is a portion of a space available or designated for or being used by someone. Now the verb meaning of it is put in a particular position, find a home or employment for. So of course it tells you can go a little bit further. So what I put stars by when it said a person, rank, or status, a right or privilege resulting from someone's role or position. The reason I pointed out role and position is because your position is within yourself. Your role is what you play with someone else. So when I looked at know your place, what that meant for me was before I can be anything to you and have a role with you, I have to first have that positioning in myself to know my place within myself.
Right.
So it says it's used to indicate the degree or advantage or convenience enjoyed by someone or something as a result of their position or circumstances. To know your place is to accept your position within society, an organization, your family, or etc. Not wanting to improve just to go with the flow. Some people go with the flow just to say, okay, I'm going to be in place with you. Doesn't matter if it's job, friendship, sisterhood. Some of us do. If we don't now, we have. Because we don't know our place within ourselves. So we just go with the flow. On a job, we don't think that we can go higher, so we just settle for it. Because we haven't took the time to say, okay, this is what I can do if I apply myself to do it. So it still goes back to, do you know yourself? Do you know yourself, your place within yourself? It said also, for some, the process of self-discovery and introspection is completely natural, while others, catch this, while others live by the moment and don't get serious about exploring their inner self. Until something changed their perspective. Self-discovery can be a lonely road. Even if you're surrounded by family and friends, it's ultimately a path you have to walk alone. And yet the process of finding yourself cannot be experienced only internally. It demands interaction with our outside world. And that's why some people don't really get to know themselves, because they're scared of walking alone by themselves. And even this morning, with everything that I had going on, people counted me out. I'm pretty sure as soon as I posted on Facebook that I had this hiccup at the airport, somebody already said, oh, she ain't gonna make it. She thought she was gonna make it, so they counted me out. But as my bishop say, if they counted you out, evidently they don't know how to count, because I got a God.
I know that's right.
That counts me in at all times. All the time. So my thing is, people say, well, Kim, how do you go places by yourself? I go out to eat, I go do whatever. So my next question to ask you ladies, one by one, do you own the room when you walk in it?
Yes. Yes.
I ain't got any. How do you know? What makes you know that you own the room?
I just feel like I have a very charismatic spirit. I mean, I know who I am. I know what my purpose is, and I'm very confident in myself. And it's been a long journey, but I think that people have always seen things in me before I've even seen them in myself. So I think now I'm at that point of realizing who I am.
Okay.
So I definitely know that I do.
Now I'm ready.
Okay, I'm sorry. Well, I think that I own the room because once I come in, the looks and the feeling that I get from other people that receive me. I speak to everyone, you know, my energy, of course, my confidence. And like you, we all struggle with confidence issues. You know, most people would not know this, that I have struggled with some confidence in certain platforms. And most of the confidence has been with other women, believe it or not.
That's
and
where
so,
it starts.
And that's where it's at. So I know when I see people smiling, when I feel the energy, I come in confident with my head up, I'm smiling, whether I had a bad day or whether I had something that just happened like you did before I came into that room. And I just know that people are speaking, and even if they don't speak, I speak to them. So that's how, and I know I own the room because once again, I don't look for confirmation in that room to be
That's it right there.
to be
Validated.
and be
That's it.
validated.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. When you say own the room, I think that when I own the room, that's me being in peace with myself and my own security within myself. So I own the room in my humility. So in that, I am able to welcome in positive energy because I then project that positive energy and that security in myself. So yeah, that's how I own the room.
Okay.
In all honesty, in all honesty, sometimes I walk in not owning the room. I have to walk in, I look around, and then I kind of, I'm the type I sit and observe. I'm not an extra introvert. I'm a little of both. So, to be honest, I don't go in most times thinking, in my mind, I own the room, because I never even thought about it that way. So, in all honesty, no, not always. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Now, I can't step up to the part. I'm not that shy if anyone comes to me, and I'm not just going to sit back and let something happen. But to go in and say, I never thought of it, so I'm going to say right now, no, but that's something to think about.
Okay. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
When you get a lot of your validation and confirmation from God, automatically you own the room. So when it's not about having a level of confidence, but it's about, hey, I already got my confirmation. This is what I'm supposed to do, which goes back to being in your place. So that's a lot of times how you confirm being in your place when you get all of your instructions from Him. So all of the other stuff is secondary. So yeah.
Well, for me, back to the topic of knowing your place, I say I own the room. My friends would say I own the room. But when I first get to that place, I figure out where I am first before that real of me comes out. Because I really am an extrovert, introvert. I'm extrovert, introvert. So on the outside, I'm like, hey, life of the party, what's up? Let's do this and that. And then when it comes to that intimate, it's like, hey girl, she over here giving me correction now on things that I help people with, and I'm like, oh, so yeah, I need a coach. But yeah, so yes. To answer the question, yes. But I figure out where I am first, because sometimes you're not in a room with extroverts, and approaching introverts takes a whole other level of you, and so you don't want to take over the place. So. Yeah. That's what I say.
Well, for me, I feel like, the song 5 minutes of fun, the party don't start till hour. On that note, yes. So when I walk in, yes, I feel like I own the room. And it's just because, again, it goes back to what every lady on this panel has said, that when your validation comes from God, when you are rooted in God's word, and your direction has come from Him, then you can own a certain confidence when you walk in any room. And as Rachel said, I'm very observant, so I want to observe and just watch what people are doing in that room, in the place where I'm at. And usually, whether I'm an extrovert too, whether you go and approach somebody and say hi, your spirit will invite people to you. And most of the times you attract. I've learned I'm a red personality, so I'm very dominant, go-getter, very social. I attract a lot of yellows to me, and a lot of greens are the complete opposite of me. I tend to attract a lot of the opposite, and as you begin to talk to them, or if they talk to you, no matter who initiates, they become a little bit more at ease, depending on what you're talking about, the topic of the conversation. And then next thing you know, you're talking, and it's like, oh, felt like I've known you forever, but I just met you, And that's what makes the spontaneity of meeting new people a wonderful experience. My goal is always to, no matter what event I go to, is to create wonderful memories at that present moment in that present time, because that is totally up to me to get what I want out of that experience. If I'm not willing to put anything into it, then I can't expect to get anything out of it.
Okay. Well, you all answered very, very, very well. What I had wrote was, well, if you're waiting on, which is what someone said, if you're waiting on the applause or for someone to notice you, you don't own the room. You don't. Because owning the room, you will grab their attention and not grabbing theirs to get yours. Okay? I know my place because I dress how I want to dress in my own style.
Hey.
I go where I want to go, in and everywhere, even if I have to go by myself. I love everything about me. in today's world, it's even more that women are trying to form themselves by somebody else. I'm not trying to form myself because I own all of this. What I don't have and what I do have. I own all of this. Okay, that's number one. Then the only thing, and I'll be honest, the only thing that I have a hang up on, and what I've always told people, when I smile, it's pretty. I need to fix my bottom structure, but baby, as long as I can smile, and it's a Kodak moment,
That's right.
So my thing is, everybody answered it right. You have to know who you are. And when I walk into the room, I forgot her name down here. Before I leave my house, as they say, when you look in the mirror, when you wake up every morning, you go in the bathroom, you got to wash your face, you got to brush your teeth, you got to do all that. You need to own it right then and there. It's not let me see whether I wrote it about, okay, pray that God keeps his hand, and I love the fact that I pray that God keeps his hands on me so that I will remain confident and never grow conceited. Because when you grow conceited, that will change you knowing and owning your place. Because therefore, growing conceited is, I got to gain the attention of them before I feel that I'm accepted in this place. No, ma'am. I'm not going to do that. That's a level that we as women should have passed in high school. I know you weren't going to pass it in middle school, because that's where we really was becoming into ourselves and trying to see, what's a friendship or whatever it's like. So by the time you finish high school, you should have already went through things that should have helped you know your place within yourself. Many people back then, they had most popular, they had best dressed, they had, most likely to succeed. And some of the people that was most likely to succeed can't even get up and go nowhere. I mean, I'm just being for real about it. So that's where we should have. So let's say we didn't get it then. We in our 30s and we in our 40s. I don't know who's the youngest person in here. We're 30. Let's say 30 and above. And that's why I tell people all the time: maturity is not an age. It's a level. It's a level. So knowing your place when you walk into a room, never feel that if you don't feel you conceited, don't worry about if they think that's what you're thinking. Because people don't know what you go through on an everyday basis just to get up and walk out your door. So if you know within your heart, knowing your place with God first, then knowing your place within your heart, because you got to have a pure heart, because what goes around come around. So if you know all of that within yourself, then you good. Own the room. There's nothing wrong with owning the room. If the men don't pause, that's because they don't have a reason to. Within themselves, because they ought to know goodness when you walk in. So we have to, instead of looking for others to applaud us, applaud yourself. So does anybody want to add anything to that?
I mean, it's funny because I'm big on quotes and just random thoughts. And this morning I was just I put on Facebook, I only compete with myself. And the thing is also just understanding that like we all bring a certain element to the table. So when I think about a table, like we could all, like somebody might bring the meat, somebody might bring the bread, somebody might bring the utensils. Somebody might not bring anything, but maybe they're taking everything away and throwing it away and washing dishes at the end. But realize that's why I love this concept.
Yes.
Because it's realizing that everybody brings something different to the table, but when you say like owning who you are, and being confident but not conceited, is recognizing your own value, but also recognizing the value of others. How we need all of those elements to be successful.
Right.
So that's what.
Well, see, that makes me think of the scripture that you have one body, but you have many parts of the body, and each body part has its function on the body for the body to function at its maximum capacity. And so that's what this, is representing. And when you understand that and you know how to come into it with the right mindset and looking at that, then I don't have things to gain by coming together with women who are like me but yet different from me, and that have a different gift, that have a different skill set, because you can learn from anybody from any walk of life. They're going to teach you two things: what to do and what not to do. So it's up to you to decide if you're going to learn by getting the shortcut. You don't have to go through everything yourself to gain wisdom, knowledge, and discernment. You can learn from other people's experience and learn from their mistakes and not make that same mistake, which gives you a better start or a jump start into something that you might not have had any knowledge about. So, you know, as they say, if you want to go far, do it by yourself. No, if you want to go fast, do it by yourself. But if you want to go far, do it together. Yeah.
And I just wanted to add, it's really what we're talking about is being true to you, no matter what. That's what's coming to me, kind of piggybacking off of Asia. It's just like even in your branding, your business, your family, you know, like you said, we're in our 30s and 40s, but I mean, I know that I still struggle with some things that are going on the inside, you know, and maybe it comes out in maybe some of the things that I say, whereas I might tell you, girl, do this, but I need somebody to tell me that too, just to keep me in line. And I do have my friends, you know, that do that, but I've been looking for a group like this to help me, you know, stay true to me while giving me the advice and the correction and the help. Because I mean, I want to grow. We should all want to grow, you know, as a person, as a woman, and in our businesses. So, but it's like you don't tear yourself down. You be your best cheerleader. You don't wait for the applause, and then you surround yourself with women who are also gonna correct you, but also applaud you. So
not laugh at you when you
You're
do
right.
it.
Right.
She was laughing. I
Or
was
like the
no,
haters. Yeah.
You don't need to say that, but you don't listen slow.
Something I said, right quick, something I said on my show, probably about 4 shows ago, I was supposed to have a co-host, and I didn't have a co-host. And so someone said, well, why don't you cancel for that day? No, ma'am, my name is on this. I will not cancel. And I said, well, maybe God want me to go in there and do it by myself. And when you just said yourself, my topic and how it ended up being my topic at the end was be your own backup. There's not going to always be someone there. This week, I was in a meltdown. Nobody knows except for one person. She realized, see, a lot of times I post stuff on Facebook, it don't be about me. And unless you call me or text me, you're not going to know. But this particular post that I did was about me. And my sister, Ebony McLaughlin, she was in a training session on the phone, but she saw that pop up that I had posted something. So she immediately texted and was all right. Well, my thing is, I'm not working. My unemployment is $261 after they take out taxes. I get a $175 a week in child support. I do have rent and bills, but I still made it here. When I decided to do this trip, I was not working. And you can reach out to people, and they may be there, they may not. But what I have learned is you cannot take their not being there for you as a negative, and they don't want to. Because the mind is quick to say, oh, they tell me I can reach out to them, but then when I reach out to them, they can't do it. But I'm growing so much better in my walk to know that God didn't want me to get it from that person, because he said, I have another way of getting it to you. And look, I'm sitting right here in front of you today when just this week, I didn't know if I was going to make it here or not. Because the reason why my name says Kimberly, I'm real, because I keep it real. I tell people, you want to know something, ask me. I may write a book, I may not, but baby, you'll get it all right here. All right here. So I was my own backup, because Bishop said the other night that sometimes when you can't pray, just say something. And this week I felt like I could not pray. But that same night that he said that, earlier that day, I was stretched out on the floor with my head down talking. I was my own backup. I didn't call somebody and say, girl, I need to talk to you. 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to do that. Can anybody tell me why y'all think I don't always call somebody to talk to them and tell them what I'm going through? Can anybody tell me why?
Well, for most time, people don't really know what to say to you, number one. Then they may not be as mature spiritually to know how to help you, number 2. Or they just may say something totally that you didn't expect to hear come out of their mouth that will lower your level of respect for them. It could be a lot of different reasons.
Well, I think sometimes, and I'm just going to jump in there. I wasn't going to be a part of it. But a lot lot of things you're talking about, things come to mind. And one of the reasons that, my personal opinion, is sometimes when you're going through something that you don't involve other people, is because that's your test. And you don't need an audience and a yay man and a nay man. So you have to go through it yourself. And in the Bible, it tells you that if you pray in secrecy, God will reward you openly. So you have to go through it, and you have to go through it by yourself in order for you to get through that test. Again, the outside has to remain just that, the outside. And I can attest to a lot of things that you've already spoke on in doing things and doing it by yourself. This journey, God gave it to you, so that assistant may not have been. I witnessed that. I've been through that. And when God said, I gave it to you, God let me know a project that I was working on. What are you waiting for? That's your baby. It's to be birthed by you. So you cannot get somebody in your corner and think they can go through the labor with you. Because you have to labor and do this thing as God had planned it in you. So that's why a lot of times you don't involve other people. You stand strong and let God take you through it as He has it planned for you.
I'm thinking when something I wanted to start, and I reached out to a few sisters, and some didn't respond. Some was like, "No, I'm not interested, and I can't." And I didn't feel any type of way. I was like, "That's fine." And then I was like, "Oh," I said, "Well, God, maybe you want me to do this by myself." And He has shown me over and over, "No, I need you to do this. I don't want you to have any assistance. You'll call people to come in to participate. This is all on you." And then it's funny with STL Black Biz, I've had so many people say, "Oh my God, I thought like you had a whole staff of people, working with you." I was like, "No, it's just me, and yeah, I'm putting it out there now." I was like, "No, it's just me." But I'm also thinking about something I'm going through now, and I didn't tell anyone, and I didn't tell my guy, and he was so upset. "Well, how am I supposed to help you, and you didn't tell me?" And then I'm like, because I have a bad asking for help. I got that bad. I'm like, "No, I got this. I was like, for one, I don't want people throwing it. I don't want people saying, "Well, I did this for you," because I'm not going to do that and say, I did this, remember I did that. But just thinking about what you said, no, this is for me. And another thing, not going to anyone, God will drop you down and be like, "Now, I need your attention. I need you to come to me." I had a friend that was going through something, and her aunt said, "No, God told me not to help you." And it hurt me, but I was told not to help you because He needed your attention. He needed you to depend solely on Him and don't go to anyone else for anything. So sometimes that will happen, and He has told me over and over, "Nope, I need you. This your baby." Even doing my events, I was like, "Oh my God," when I started that, I can't do that. And I pretty much did a lot of it by myself. Now I know I need to learn because I'm partnering and meeting people and can bring them on board. So I started doing the Black business, breakfasts. But again, with not asking for help, sometimes He doesn't want you to get help from anyone. He said, "Nope, it's just you and me." And that's what I'm going through right now. He's like, "You and me, no distractions from anyone, no distractions from your past. No, I need you and me right now."
And sometimes that's what it takes in order for
the next
full birth of your baby to come out, and so then you can invite people in on what you have produced.
I am so happy to hear you speak.
Two things I want to, it's burning. First of all, this is wonderful. One, I want to go back to the confidence piece. There was so many times, and today I guess I can share a little bit of honesty and be real with people. Because it's laid on the table. For so long, there has been times where, because of my confidence and being strong, and I feel being strong, sometimes I guess people don't like that, and they make you feel, well, you too strong. You just have to own the room, or you just gotta, you gotta meet everybody. And sometimes at one point that made me feel that, well, maybe I do. It's kind of maybe I do need to calm it down. Maybe I do need to do that.
What is that saying? What is that saying that says most of the time people that hate you are what? They can't be you. They don't have what you have, or something like that. So that's what the problem is. But I just want to tell you that is it. these sayings, you really have to look at them and listen to them, because if that first saying don't get you, then you will find one that will hit you.
Exactly.
But if somebody trying to dim your light, that's because they hiding so far in the dark that they really need your light to come out.
And
But they don't want you to get the applause for it.
And it don't always come in outside people. It comes right in your circle. And the second thing that I wanted to you guys hit home, the reason I'm here is because I networked with this young lady here at an event that I didn't know was going to happen. It was I got laid off. A lot of people don't know this, that I got laid off in July. I've been at my job 10 years as a director.
July what?
July of this year.
What day?
July 1st, my birthday.
I was July 13th.
Okay.
Oh wow.
All right, see, nope, a lot of people don't know that unless people, and it was on my heart. I was like, I've been wanting to do this, just go ahead. I didn't stop. I stopped. I said, I'm going to do my first fitness event. I don't care if I haven't been in the game that long. I'm doing it. I'm going to do it all myself. And I'm going to tell you what hurt me the most. And I had to get over that. People that I knew that I have helped over 10 years, got jobs, didn't say, Chastity, you okay? You need some help? Let me help you with this event. I funded every little thing that I had. And like I said, it may not have been much to other people, but it was my baby. It was my name on the line. And despite everything going on, I put my energy into that. And I started to get very depressed the day before. I cried all day, because I was mad that people that I thought were supportive of me in my event just, oh no, I can't. And then God came over me, and a scripture came up in my phone and said, and I can't remember the exact one, but God came over me and said, you wipe those tears. If you got 5 people there, you got 2 people there. You did what you set out to do, and you don't get the validation from nobody who doesn't support you. And I would say it was successful. I wouldn't be here. And my event was to bring fitness and vendors and connect people. And I said it was successful, number one, because I'm here because I connected with her. I connected with so many people outside. It was bigger than just the event. And so I want to say, too, that sometimes we are our own self. I almost let my own self, the most confident person I can be, I let myself kind of almost beat me down on my own event, because I was feeling some kind of way because I lost my job. Well, I didn't lose it. They closed down. No beings of my own. Nobody said, Chastity, you okay? You know what? And then I got this event, forget it. Nobody supported me that I know. I got more support from people I didn't know than people around me. It was amazing to me, but I said to myself, I had a lot of good spiritual guidance. I prayed, and I said, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to continue to do it, and who support me that. And me personally, it was successful because not only because of it was done, but the people I met and connected with, I wouldn't be here. And I love this because when you guys are, everybody at this table has hit something in me that like, man, you guys go through that too? I didn't know that. And it's good to hear that, because sometimes I'm like you. I don't tell people I need help. Well, you see Facebook pictures, you look fit, you did it. You're supposed to. So it's supposed to look like I'm struggling or suffering.
Just before you took that.
We call it fake book.
Fake book, right. I'm not gonna show all my feelings on Facebook.
No, we're gonna correct that.
Yeah.
We're gonna call it fake.
Fake.
Oh,
I like that.
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
Well, I say that Facebook is a stage with many actors. It's many actors. I can blast somebody right now.
Yes.
Really just pull the cover off and expose them for who they are. But for what?
Right.
For what? Hey, look, let people do what they do. I stay in my lane. And one of the things that I realize is that most people don't want you to succeed.
Even if they do,
they secretly planning your demise, digging ditches for you. You digging one, dig two, so you can go on the phone.
Right.
I don't worry about. I had my character attacked I never even speak on it. I don't address it. I don't even address it because it's just not there. You know, because I'm comfortable, and it took a long time for me to get into that secure spot in myself. You know, I started off a very self-assured person, then I entered into a situation that made me doubt myself. So when we lay it on the table, we keep it real as women, but we allow ourselves and we put people before our creator. Because it's an order of things, right?
Yes.
So when we put people in the wrong place where they should not be, then you fall victim to some things, or you allow yourself to be utilized in a way you don't come to appreciate. So I had never been in a position where I doubted myself so much.
Yes.
So it has taken a lot of quiet time, silence, and dealing with me, the inner me, to get myself back to a secure, stable me.
Let me share this right quick with you. I was let go of my job because, first of all, when I walked in there in October, they didn't like me. Didn't even know who I was, just knew I was coming from Pilot Travel Center, coming to Love, from there going to Love's, overnight shift lead. They hired me to be operations manager, which is second down from the store manager. But I was fine doing my little Sunday through Thursday, pay me what I want, I'm good. So very shortly from October to July, I had somebody walk out on me, told me, you walk in, got the job, I bust my behind for it. She gave me grief the whole time. Then they hid my office door keys. Then when the manager found the office door keys, they switched the key on it so I couldn't get in. The new manager, when that was going on, he knew all of this. But because I'm outspoken, people have a problem being outspoken. And I told him, I said, I'm 46 years old, going on 47 at the time. I have made this far, being outspoken. I'm not gonna stop now. So I received a good evaluation, a raise, and then the promotion. The operation manager that was good with me, all of a sudden now she wanna say insubordination. But that ain't what I got fired for. Cause they just like, oh, that really wasn't, but you know, we have to document it. They fired me because I reported her for taking time away. So, which on July 10th, I mentioned it to him for the second time, asked him did he mention it to the regional manager. He never responded. Tuesday he came in, said the store looked good, blase, blase. Wednesday came in, that's the end of a pay week. That Thursday he came in, called me in the office and said, we'll never be on the same page.
Wow.
So just as I'm sitting here talking to you ladies, I said, okay. I didn't change the look on my face, okay. Now he wanna tell me about my radio station. This is how dumbfounded some people are, especially men. At that particular time. He said, but you will be all right because you have your radio show. Baby, I pay $60 a week for my radio show. I have not set out for one sponsorship yet because I wanted to let people see I'm serious. But he didn't know I'm not getting paid for it. But I said, okay. That's all I had for him was, okay. So that was the first thing about me being let go. And I had to move. And I know I had to move 2 months before I had to move. But I'm like, I'm working, I can get another place. But then I got terminated. Second time in life since I've been working since I was 15. So when you said people, be waiting and living this life or whatever, baby, I lived in a hotel for 30 days and I didn't tell nobody that I was in that hotel. But I still got up and I went where I had. It wasn't no upscale. And my son said, Mama, maybe that's what God is doing to humble you because you're too picky. Prostitutes, drug dealers, trends, all that was around us. But not one time did God show me you need to go home to Augusta. I was in there for 2 weeks before I told my mother and my father. And the first thing my mother said was, you know you can live in your grandmother's house. God didn't tell me I need to come back to Augusta. My dad processed, then he called back going off. Why you didn't tell me what you need? You know you only getting $261. My hotel stay was, at the time my child support wasn't coming in. $261. I'm about to exhaust what I had saved. My hotel stay was $400 for that rinky dink hotel. But I made it, and I still got up every Sunday and posted church flow. So I finally shared it on my show one day when God said, okay, now you can tell them. You still doing the same thing you was doing while you're working, you still doing now that you're not working. You just live in a different location. The other thing I wanted to address is I used to entertain a lot of couple people in Augusta. They had their little cliques. And this one lady told me one day went to her house. And my mother always told me no matter where you get your clothes from, as long as you put them together good. So,
Right.
but people know I be in the mall. But baby, let me tell you something. Walmart got it going on.
I'm telling
make
you.
the clothes.
Walmart got it going on.
Yeah.
So look, but anyway, with this, so I got an invite to the event that I didn't think I was gonna get invited to. So when I got there, me being the for real me, I said, "Hey y'all, what's up?" And this person said, "Hey girl, so you came?" I said, "Yeah, I was surprised I got the invite." You know what she told me? She said, "Oh, I had to invite you because you'd be the topic of our conversation." And I said, "That's why I always dress nice when I come." So, you know, when you already got a feel, you just go with it. You know they doing what they doing, own it. Know your place. So I already knew that they was halfway talking, but that didn't stop me because there were some people that have really, really, truly enjoyed my presence. So don't let the next person knock you from knowing and owning and being comfortable within yourself to walk in anywhere.
Right, Bob, Kim?
Yeah.
There was a lot of things that you were saying that I wanted to kind of touch on. One of the things that I like to think about is expect the unexpected. And then a lot of like what we're all saying, it kind of connects because we don't know why we're going through what we're going through sometimes and why we sometimes have to go through it alone. But I believe that what we go through is not even for us, it's for other people. And then how it connects other people and how you were supposed to be in that place and those people were supposed to be there for you to meet the people that was going to affect your change. And then I'm seeing another pattern here because even when you guys are talking about as far as being out of work, and I'm like, that's the same thing I was going through. But again, people don't know what you're going through because you do still conduct yourself with the same level of integrity and work ethic and connection and things. Right. So I was just thinking, I mean, you know, when you think about things like this, like I don't even remember who exactly invited me to this, but it's more like just people knowing you and knowing you know, your character and putting you in spaces, but then you have to be obedient. You know, because obviously a lot of us probably get invited to a lot of different things. But, you know, and I used to be like, okay, yes, but then overbook myself and stuff. But sometimes it's like we have to have discernment and to know what to accept and what not to accept. And sometimes you don't even know what you're walking into, like today. I didn't know what I was doing. You know, but to me, you had to have the vision. And then with that, having the vision of whoever did the invite, it was more like to bring and mobilize those right spirits together for this, like, place and time. You know, so with that, it's more like, and then talking about support. You know, most of us who are from St. Louis, you know, we all know how St. Louis is, but at the same time, support looks so different, and so different for the people who are giving it. Some people give support with the capacity that they have to give support. So it might not be coming to your event, but sharing a flyer, or it might not be, you know, putting money in, but praying for you.
Exactly.
You know, and sometimes we don't know that people are doing it on the background. You know, so we might look at like, man, you know, my family doesn't support me, or this and that. You know, but at the same time, those who do. And at the same time, you know, maybe people just support and do things in different ways, but understanding like when you do have that vision and then being obedient to that vision and in the word of God and still executing it because it's for somebody. Usually, I mean, even if you get there and it's only a few people, it's for whoever showed up. And then it's still for you.
That's right.
It's for you to see the manifestation of just having a vision, being obedient, putting it out into the universe, and then seeing what happens next. Because usually on the other end of that is something very powerful. It's always a message in everything that we do. So I definitely just like, you know, just always be encouraged. And even when we don't understand, just still move. Like you said, get up, do something, say something, you know. So.
You know what? I'm thinking what you two said about being unemployed. When I did my first event, I just had a botched surgery. And I was unemployed. I've been laid off. I was with Job Corps and had been laid off, so I had money coming in, so I wasn't like nothing coming in. But I'm just thinking, you know, I wasn't going to do it, and I had friends was like, you got to do it. I was like, I cancel. I don't have any problem with canceling. But that was a stepping stone of me doing bigger things. I said, I'm not an event planner. I'm not this, I'm not that. And I look back, I was like, I was actually able to get people to come out. I was actually able to get the vendors to pay $100 for these tables. I'm like, really? Wow. You know, because it's funny how you don't think you have it in you, but I was just thinking, you know, I was like, oh my God, when I started my first big thing, I was unemployed too. So
there's a reason for that. If you wasn't unemployed, like if I wasn't unemployed, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think the entrepreneurship has always been in me. I've been doing things on the side, but I kind of still was that worker, you know. And I feel like if this did not happen, because honestly, I was supposed to be employed until June of 2018. They moved me to December of 2017, and then July 1st. So I knew it was coming, but I don't think I would have put the energy and the level of energy in myself and my own brand and my business and my Zumba if I was still employed.
You wouldn't have.
I know.
Entrepreneurship is definitely a walk of faith. It is. And I don't even talk about my job on social media. I'm actually speaking it out loud that I work. Oh. I work. Oh my God. I don't even tell people that I work because it's depressing. But
I may have to go back a little bit.
But it takes away from your dream, your what you're trying to do with your business. I'm at work, like, trying to multitask, what I got planned for my event, and I'm falling behind on what these people are paying me to do. But I'm trying to be a good person.
Girl.
I know.
Laying it on the table.
Be a good person and do what I'm being held responsible to do here, but I gotta tell you, I'm checking this, I'm checking that, I'm planning what my next move is for, because this is for the long term. I don't plan on being here. I'm not the 40 rule, you know. Work for 40 years, get 40% of what you work for, you know. So that's not my dream. So I'm really pushing to free myself from this bondage.
You know what? Someone told me, look, if you gotta work a job, you just work it. Your career is after 5 o'clock.
Absolutely.
You gotta put it. If you gotta do it, you gotta do it.
Well, I want to say this. The last 3 months that I worked at Love's, I kept telling them what God has going on is bigger than Love's and bigger than you. And when I leave, y'all gonna think y'all did it, but it ain't gonna be y'all.
Absolutely.
Yes. Right. And I kept saying it. So how I get in my rut of not having a job and not having a place all at the same time, because in June, for 2 weeks, when my kids were gone, I went into prayer. And I asked God then, show me what you want me to do, remove who needs to be removed, bring who needs to be here, because when you bless me going to this next season, I need to have the right people around me.
Absolutely.
I need to know the right people to bless. Because I have a free heart. I've always been that outspoken person. Al too used to be hellacious. I mean, we can do it. What you want to do it? You want to go outside? You want to stay? We could do it. So, but I always did. I always gave. I have shortened my household to bless somebody else. So then in July, I went 30 days on a 30-day fast of no alcoholic beverages. None at all. No wine, no nothing. And so that's why I know why I had to go through what I go through. Because be careful when you pray what you pray for.
Oh, absolutely.
Because had I known that he was going to do this like this, I probably wouldn't have said do what you know. Whatever. That's what the thing when I said whatever you need to do. So he did just that. And I can't say that a lot of people have went on, but I will say one person that I used to be very close to, we're barely there now. And the thing of it is, when I finally put it out that I stayed in a hotel, and if she watched this, then she'll know. But if we're supposed to be so cool, and you upset because I did not call you and tell you, you didn't even say, you all right? Do you need anything? Can I bless you with $1 to help you add up to $5? But we so cool, and that's the thing. That's why we gotta stop giving people titles.
Yeah, that's true.
That are not in that position. If she's an associate, say associate. If she's a sister, say sister. If she's a friend, say a friend. I don't have a group. I don't have a clique. I have God-spirited people that He is bringing to me. So when you pray, know what you're praying for. And when you ask him to remove people and to do,
He gonna do just that.
don't be surprised, because it's gonna be some family, it's gonna be some friends, it's gonna be the ones that are close to you that you're gonna be like, what? He done took the mask off of them.
Yeah.
See, the makeup is nothing. The mask is what it is. Cause we already know some don't even look dressed up when they made up.
It goes back to owning the room. Like while you guys were talking and speaking on what you guys were speaking on, it goes all the way back to owning the room. A lot of you guys were talking about being unemployed and how it happened. Bethany, can I call her Bethany?
Yeah, you call me Bethany.
She is, I don't even know how I met her. I think it was a box of candy, which I thought I was going to bring
Yes.
today. It's a box of
Yes, that
candy
is.
of
We met on Facebook, but that's how we met
squirrels
face to
that I
face.
made. And so that's how I met her.
Yep.
And then she started supporting my events. So I'm
Yeah.
listening to you all talking about these events that you're doing and how you didn't know you had it in you. You didn't think you can do it. See, you weren't owning the room. Don't think when she mentioned own the room that she's talking about 4 walls. Has nothing to do with 4 walls. Period. It's within yourself and everything you do. Own up to it. Let me tell you a little bit about me. I own the room. Everywhere I go. Why? Not because I'm boasting, not because I'm bragging, not because I got it going on, but I do. But because God.
Yes.
God equipped me with so much till He took me off that job. And why? Here's the thing. I would have still been on that job for 23 years, and I've been gone 10 years. So I would have been there 33 years right now. But God showed me that I would not be there. He showed me how, and I thought it was me. I said, why am I thinking that sitting at this desk? Why am I having this thought? And I moved on. Well, it manifested. In every way that God showed me, you won't be there, and how I would not be, it blew my mind because it still took a while for me to own the room. And when I did, no, you said entrepreneurship, no, never. I've never desired it. I don't even know where I'm at right now. I'm just keeping it real. I still can't say, I want to be an entrepreneur. I'm just doing what I do because I love it. I mean, I am an event planner, I'm a caterer, I'm a baker, I'm a cook, I'm a friend, I'm a confidant, I'm a sister, I'm a wife, I'm a mother. You name it. I do it because I own the room because of the higher power, which is called God. So when you get that under your belt and understand, see, when I got let go on my job, they thought they terminated me. This is what they thought. But do you all know I wasn't terminated, I was elevated.
Come on now.
I wasn't terminated.
Amen.
He took me to a higher level. So this is, and Lord knows I never wanted to be at home. He knows I'm going to give you your floor back. He knows I did not want to be at home. I never want to be an at-home wife. So God had to work with me. He had to go under the cover and work with me and mentally prepare me for what He has for me. So now what's my motto? If you know your purpose, you can hold down your position. All right.
Man.
Being
So,
your authentic self.
Go ahead.
Well, I just had one more small quote, just kind of summarizing a lot of what we're talking about. And it's like, I had to realize that I don't think that I'm better than anybody else, but I don't think anybody else is better than me.
Right.
And I think, because they go back to what you were saying about being confident versus being conceited.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, when you are sure of yourself and you know that you know your purpose and you understand that, you can be so like confident, kind of like what you were saying as far as people being maybe intimidated by your light, that it make you kind of like, I've done that so much. It's almost like, let me dumb myself down just to accommodate the room, but at the same time, it's like you can be sure of yourself, but at the same time, respect everybody else's position and where they may be in their lives. You know what I mean? But definitely, like when you sure you are, it's like you don't think that you're better than anybody else, but you also don't you don't think anybody's better than you.
Because guess what? Can't nobody beat you being you.
Right.
You can't outdo me.
Yeah.
I can't beat me being me. So that's just it.
I've discovered just being me, because even in my family, I've always been the different one.
Yep.
And my son is different. I say, baby, Be who you are. I was like, I don't think like others in my family. I think I grew to accept that like when I turned 40 in my 40s is when I was like, you know, it's cool being me. I even noticed that with my blog, my first blog, when I really wrote how I felt and what was coming out of me, my posts were like up here, and I was like, you know, okay, just being me works.
Absolutely.
You know.
My thing is, I tell people, I don't have time to try to compete with you because I'm too busy trying to compete with what I did yesterday. This event right here, yeah, it was fully funded by me, but guess what? I was going to make it happen regardless because I'm too busy trying to compete with myself and say, well, you did this one this way in September. So how you going to do this one here in October? And last year, I have a women's group that I started called Together We Stand. And we went on a function, which is in my bio. We went on a function last year, we went on a function this year, and then in May I did a big May celebration. They thought I was having a birthday party. I said, no, it's not a birthday party. I'm celebrating you women. It wasn't a lot of women because I made a mistake and put it on Mother's Day weekend. But I outdid myself the second time. I had a videographer, I had a photographer, a makeup artist. I was celebrating the beauty in them, you know. So now I'm getting ready to do it again next year, and I'm hoping all you ladies will be able to come because it's where I'll do a lay on the table with co-ed sometime or women by themselves, but Together We Stand is just when I do the get together. So it's like I'm always thinking of ideas, and I'm sure you all are thinking of ideas. And when you're thinking of something, don't worry about is it gonna fly, is it not gonna fly. Write it down, put your plan together, and see what happens because you never know. Did I ever think that I would be here in Missouri? Did I think I was gonna get on a plane? No, because I don't have a problem with driving. And there was a friend of mine, a sister of mine, who I met through my daughter. She told me earlier this year, you might as well get prepared because you're gonna be going to get on the plane. I said, girl, please, not no time soon. She said, oh, you get on the plane. Who would have knew it was gonna be this year? Period. So when people think that you're competing up against them, boo, I'm trying to get this pimple out my face. So because it wasn't there yesterday, I'm trying to make sure this look good. You don't really have time. My mother told me a long time ago, if you're really focusing on yourself and your household, you do not have time to worry about what somebody else got going on.
What's going on?
I be like, what? When they said trying to keep up with the Jones, I'm trying to keep up with the Stapletons. The unreal in me. I don't have time to be trying to worry about nobody else. Because some of the stuff, I love my sisters and how y'all, do all this. But baby, I just can't do the eyelash. My eyes big enough. I can't. I need no more attention brought to my eyes. Okay, so y'all can have it.
So, okay, this is how I met everybody in this room. So, me and AJ, how do I say this? Is it AJ or Asia? We met from poetry scene. We're poets. Through different legacy and lightness events, just going to different events. Chaz and I met at a social outing. We were placed and sat at the same table. It was my birthday weekend. I went by myself. So you talk about going somewhere by yourself. Her and her husband sitting out there. Here I come sitting there, and I'm just all quiet, and she started talking to me. And that's how we met. And she gave me her flyer to her event and asked me would I come and if I wanted to do a vendor because I had a business. I showed up. From her event, I met Rachel. We really didn't talk that day because we was both working and setting up and socializing. So we really didn't talk that anything. But she's an author, I'm an author. We exchanged books, and she's here today. Deja, this is the first time we've actually met. She's a friend with Danita Smith from My Blooming Health, and Danita made a post about how talking about how she had a phone conversation with Deja, and it blessed her and gave her confirmation on what she's doing and being an entrepreneur. Denise is my best friend, so I was in need of one more person to add to the panel, so I reached out to her on Facebook, and here she is.
Okay.
Eleni, or Eliani, we met through Cortez's show, initially, on the Black Wealth Movement, and we actually finally met face-to-face at Angela's first event. We all met at Cortez's show initially, too, listening to the same mentor and all of us trying to change our financial status, build wealth, and invest as entrepreneurs, and just, the blueprint, and it takes a lot of work. Kim, again, we met on Facebook. I think initially how I got connected to her through the cooking group or a mutual friend. But at any rate, so I ordered them. She made some posts. What them little Christmas chocolate? I guess it's like turtles, like chocolate caramel. And man, you gonna gain 15 pounds. You try some of them. They were really good. So I'm glad you didn't, because that would have been overkill with the cheesecake and the pound cake. So that's how we met, and she's giving me cooking lessons. So anything I don't know how to make, she taught me how to make. So when y'all saw that bacon wrapped asparagus, that came from her. I never made no bacon wrapped asparagus in a day in my life. So, and then to test it out, I made it and invited a house guest, to which you never invite somebody to try something the first time you cook it. But it turned out all right? That person didn't die. So she taught me how to make peach cobbler, because I wanted to make key lime pie. I'm going to get to learn to make salmon croquettes in a couple of weeks here. My neighbor, she made some. She's going to teach me how to make those. So, you know, through food, of course, is an expression of love. And everybody know I like to eat and she likes to cook, so that's a great combination. So, and from then, like she said, just supporting people's events. And I don't necessarily always have the money to be a vendor or to buy something. But if I have it, like you say, I'd rather spend my $20 investing in someone else and helping someone else, because I believe in them and I believe in their vision. And so many changes have happened, oh Lord, in the last 6 months of my life. I can't even begin to talk about them, but I won't. We'll just sit back and watch the show, because it's definitely going to be something to watch. So that's how, and Kim, this is our actual first time meeting face to face. I met her, I found her because she's on Instinct Radio. I was a guest on Regina Sunshine Robinson's show on Instinct Radio and Larry's Beer in a Conversation radio show when I went to visit Atlanta. And they make posts on the different radio personalities, and I stumbled across her show and tuned into it, and that's how we met on Facebook. And I liked, what she was talking about. So of course, kindred spirits, right? So I reached out to her and just, introduced myself. I'm so and so and so, and that's how the connection is made. So when you talk about things happening by divine design on purpose, it's not an accident. Whether it's good or bad, it's never an accident. And that's one of the things or several things I will address in my second book, There's a Blessing in Your Lesson. Because no matter what you go through, no matter how tough it is, there's always a blessing, there's light, there's a purpose for your pain. There's a purpose for that storm, and it has nothing to do with you. But a lot of times we feel this personally about us because it feels personal, because it hurts like hell. And you're like, wait a minute, hold up. I wasn't ready for this. I'm just staying in my lane. I'm minding my business. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do to the best of my ability. What is all this? And a lot of times as human beings, when we cannot connect to the meaning behind something and understanding in its present time, it throws our balance off, because that's the way a logical person's mind works, is to be able to connect the dots to understand why, and the logistics of that. And so that's my biggest struggle, because as a person that's used to being in control, part of what I do in my profession, and not knowing how to just let things flow or come together and trust that it's going to come together, I struggle with that big time. And everything that has happened in the last 6 months has been the lesson I finally got. And I don't want to go through this kind of lesson to get the message. This has been hell. At least I feel that's how it's been, because, when somebody tell you 2 + 2 = 4, and they tell you to do, A + B, and you're going to get C, and then you do it, but then C don't come along, you hit some other letter in the alphabet, and you're like, well, this didn't add up, but I did everything I was supposed to do. So then you feel like, well, it wasn't meant for, this is not for me, or this wasn't, I'm not going to get the blessing, or, but the problem is, it just never goes along the path that we envision. The path is always different. God's path is not our path. So if God plants that seed in you for whatever your purpose is and what your passion is, just because it's not happening the way you envisioned it according to your path doesn't mean it's not going to happen. You just have to continue to trust, and that's I learned through my storm, is that you have to continue to just trust God, and you have to admit and say, like, I'm weak. I'm doubting, I'm struggling, I don't know, I'm fearful, I'm having anxiety, because that's a human emotion, that's human for you to feel that way, and you have to embrace that, because if you can't recognize when you're having those moments and you feel that way, then you don't know how to truly lean on God's strength and word through prayer and meditation. And so throughout my storm, which was a 2-year storm, I have learned how to meditate. So I always kept saying, I don't really know how to meditate, I don't understand how to meditate, and I understood the why, but it felt weird, it felt crazy. But then as stuff started spiraling out of control, one thing after another, and I'm like, well, here we go again. I thought I was, survived this one, but here we go again. I thought I survived this one. Well, I did survive it, but it's like, here we go again. So things that I could not explain, and people kept asking me, but why? I was like, well, hell, if I had the answer to that, I should hit the lottery. If I can tell you why, that means I had some kind of insight I can, control, but I was like, I have no idea. So now I can say the reason why all those things happened was so other people can see through my faith that God is real, that God is in control, and that, when the Bible says God will exalt you for others to see, you just have to withstand a storm. But a storm ain't easy, man. I mean, it's not. You think it's easy because you've read this scripture 100 times, or you know where it's at, or you know the story. But when it's your story, your whole perception about it changes when it's your story and it's your storm. You're like, man, you know what? So back to what Chad's saying, having the right element around you. I took a portion of what Regina says on her show all the time and added it. It made this affirmation prayer I typed up, and I started reading it. And not one time did I think that the things that have been happening to me in a timing came from that prayer that I say every day when I wake up and before I go to bed. And it's just amazing how, we always say, why? Why was this allowed to happen in this time? But you know what? If we know God's time is never the wrong time again, when we start to really understand that, then we'll stop saying why and saying, thank you, God, for blessing me, for adding this person to my life, for adding value, for whatever. You change that into your attitude of gratitude on a consistent basis. You journal it, you talk about it, you tell those people who have been a contributing factor to that, you let them know how thankful and appreciative you are of them and what they have added to your life and how they brought, value and stability and confidence and courage, because that's who you will call when you say you're going to make the phone call. Then you know who to call, and you'll say, you know what, can you just pray with me on the phone? I don't really feel that I have the strength to pray for myself, or I don't have the words. I'm just, very frustrated or disgusted at this time, and I just need somebody that I know that knows me and understands, that can pray with me, and God will, one or two come together in my name. I'm in the midst. So, that's, you learn as I say, with maturity and wisdom, you learn how to attack your storms and your things differently, because you start to look at them differently, and you start to understand the design of the makeup behind what you can only see with the superficial eye. So, or your fleshly eye versus your spiritual eye. So I'm just thankful and happy to be here today. Like I said, despite the circumstances and the obstacles that started, we pulled it off, and I feel this has been a very productive session, and fellowship, food, fun, fellowship, and I'm just looking forward to what's next, what's to come, because God ain't done with us, any of us, and He just got some things growing in. So
one quick thing. I'm gonna say this, and then if you would go and check to see if she ready for us to come through right quick. Okay. But I posted this, and I'm pretty sure everybody's seen it from Facebook. Everybody's posted, but the reason why you're going through your storm is, they said, because your enemies can't swim.
I have to borrow that, add that to my enemies.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you check to see if she ready for us to come through right quick.
I'm really full right now, and I wanted to say something just based off of what, piggybacking off what everybody said. So just a little bit about me, because I know we're running out of time, but God's been dealing with me for the last 10 years. Well, God's been dealing with me forever, right? But about 7 years ago, I was on track to become a college professor. I was working on my doctorate, and 2010, the end of 2010, my professors told me that I didn't pass my comprehensive exams, which meant I wouldn't be able to go on to write the dissertation phase, That was very heartbreaking, and I still haven't, I'm getting emotional now, because I don't know if I really processed it, because as a woman, as a black woman, I've been taught and been just so used to just keep it going, just keep it moving, instead of really processing how that made me feel, not accomplishing such a long task that I set out. I was there at the University of Arkansas for almost 6 years. So, that was my goal. That's what I knew, higher education. Moved back to St. Louis in 2011. So in the midst of, while being in graduate school, I was in the middle of writing my first book. So there were times in grad school that I wasn't even happy really being in the program, but I had already been in this so long that it's like, well, I gotta finish it, But God was dealing with me even then, saying, this really isn't what I have for you. I've been an entrepreneur since I was a little girl. You can ask my mom, creating, making, selling things since I was a kid. You know, the organizer, the group person. But it's that little girl on the inside that I've grown to realize is the one who needs the healing. I've been my worst enemy. I've done events. I've written 2 books. All these things I've done, but then, you know, and there's always people that's gonna be on the sidelines. You got your friends, your family, your cheerleaders. You got your haters. They watching you. But I have beat myself up so much, and I'm tired of doing that. And I'm tired of starting and stopping. That's why I'm so blessed to be here, because it is hard. Like, you get nervous to connect with other people, women, even men. You know, because I attract a lot of men, and they want to do business, but sometimes that's not what it is. You just laying it on the table, you know. So we keeping it real. So, you know, so what I want to say is just, you know, don't stop, don't give up. You know, when I moved back to St. Louis, I didn't have a job. The first job I did get, you know, because I moved back home after graduate school, was living with my parents in an apartment, and I'm like, oh. I'm 31 now. I've been on my own for 12 years. Now I got to live with mom and dad. I don't have a job. But I had this book. So that was fun. That was exciting. It was building momentum and friends and family, you know, that first book. But then I wrote another book, and then that's when the numbers started kind of dying down. Like, oh, she's serious about this. But you don't look for your blessing to come from the original tribe. Because you have to keep growing. You want to, and I always pray, God, whoever this message is for, that's who I want it to be for. I wanted these books to reach whoever they're supposed to reach. Most recently, I started a nonprofit organization. So, of course, God has always given me ideas. But because of the things that I've been through, the lack of support, the beating myself up, and, you know, if it doesn't work, that first workshop, nobody comes, that you put all your money and you spent all your money putting it together, and then you just say, forget it, I'm not doing this. You know, my mama's tired of, she gonna come still, but she's tired of being, you know, the chief financial officer for the event, you know, and it's me and her, you know. But, you know, you just can't stop. You can't stop. You know, I've quit every job I've had because I'm not happy with it. I am an entrepreneur. She's laughing because she knows. Every day I'm like, girl. But then too, I've been on the other side of not being able to pay my bills. I've been on the other side of, I quit it. I was happy those first 2 weeks, like, okay, buy my book. It doesn't work like that either, you know. Not to say, you know not to be discouraged in that unemployment, but I've been on both sides. Never been fired, should have been fired. But, so that's just where I am, and I'm so grateful for you all, because if you see that, like, I have a best friend. She's also an entrepreneur, 2 best friends, but the one that's in Alabama, she's always like, okay, she's a slave driver. What you doing? I need to see some new products. I need to see, and it's like, girl. But sometimes I need that extra push because I have to stop stopping, you know. And the business names have changed, but what he placed in me as a little girl is still there. I don't care what you know, if it's products or if it's just me as a coach. I have to do it because he gave it to me. Allow myself to be distracted by, I've never been married, I want to be married and all that, and getting caught up with men and relationships. And you know, my mentor's like, they're going to be there. I have a huge heart. I love hard. And y'all know, because I know y'all love hard. But I need to take that love and energy and put it into my baby. I don't have kids. My businesses, my books, my ministry, that's my baby. Okay, so I think that's all. And then I want to end with a quote, because Asia likes quotes. It's the funniest one, though, because you feel conceited when you say it, or when I read it. It says, everybody can't be the princess. Somebody's got to clap when I walk by. It's a little conceited, but it makes sense, you know, because know your role, know your position, know your place. And when it's your turn to be the princess, I'm going to clap by for you. And I'm going to expect you to be there for me, too. Absolutely. Or whoever God brings to be there. So, I love your energy. I love y'all. But that was cool. I had to get it out. Like, don't stop. Don't be mad at the people that fired you. Okay? Because I ain't been fired. I keep firing my bosses. And my resume is like 6 months here, 3 months here. It's like, it's so embarrassing to have all this education. And I'm like, Lord, I'm still only making $30-some thousand. But my prayers and my dreams have always been way ahead of me. And God is saying, you prayed 10 ago, you want to be a millionaire. Why did I pray that? Because that ain't no easy road.
No, it's
So I'm going to end with that. I'm not there yet.
What I wanted to say right quick is when you were talking about your friends and sometimes they're not there, that's one of the things I've always talked about, and I discussed that on my show time and time again. And that's why I have laid on the table. And together we stand, the gatherings that I've had, because it could be your best friend, it could be your sister. You could go to them sometimes and say, girl, this is what's going on in my marriage. Girl, you bigger than that, you better than that, you can handle that. Come on, let's go get a drink, or let's go do this, let's go do that. You never even got to talk about what was the problem. You talk to another friend, family, whatever. Girl, this is what's going on with my job. Girl, you are educated. You will get past that. Don't worry about that. You never got to really get it out. And if you did get it out, you didn't get all of it out. Well, when you come to these events, if you were the type that said, nobody knows this, I don't want to put this out there, it's been happening in every event I've had. Women opening up. Women putting it out there. Because we say we're sisters, but I only want to breathe in you. I want to allow you to breathe in me. So how am I really helping you when you need me to help you? Because I just want to tell you what I'm going through. I just want to tell you my experience of what I did and how I got over. But you still hadn't let it out, what you needed to tell me. So maybe I can add to it, or we can work on it, pray for it together. You see what I'm saying? So I appreciate all you women for coming. I appreciate all of you that were that spoke and were able to get out something that you did not think you would get out, or even if you didn't understand my topic of know your place. Own the room. You know, I'm not gonna come and go before anybody before I do research. You know, God can give me stuff all day long. He could tell me what to write. I'm on the plane. He gave me some more stuff to write. But at the same time, you just gotta know. You gotta be willing to accept what somebody is having to say before you just block it out when you come to this gathering or the next gathering. Because what you said helped her. Helped me.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Yeah. So you just never know. And that's why I said if it only touch one person, absolutely. Teach, or what is it? Teach one, reach one. That one I reach, they can go teach and they reach somebody else. Yeah. So I don't look, as I said in the beginning, I don't look for the quantity of numbers of people. I look for the quality. Because that's what's going to help us try to change and become closer, as in what we say we are, a sisterhood. Absolutely. And I forgot to give a shout out to Instinct Radio.
Instinct Radio!
Which is where my show is, and I passed out cards. It's called In My Own Words, because I'm going to give you my truth. And I invite women and men to come on and talk about their entrepreneurship, what encouraged them, what made them get out there and start doing what they wanted to do. As well as I also share being adopted, having two mothers, and I have learned how to love myself with the help of others. My mother is, next time I go to Augusta, she told me this weekend she wants to sit down with me to see exactly what am I doing. Why was I so passionate on coming to St. Louis, Missouri? Because she was like, you said you're not canceling this trip. You know you don't have it all, but you are not going to cancel it. She said, so I need to sit down so we can see exactly what you're doing. Because before I really started getting into opening up live stream to share my story, I asked my mother, was it okay with her? No, I take that back. I told her what I was going to do, and yeah, was she okay? Not her approval, because it was going to happen. And she told me that it was fine, just don't make nobody look bad. I told my father said, tell your truth. I said, hey, that's all I know how to do. Even if it get me in trouble, that's all I've ever done throughout my life. So whereas some people knew it beforehand, now it's out there, and I just want to be able to tell other people, because being adopted, some people don't get past it because they don't know why they're like I was, just this aggressive person with a good heart, pure heart, but I always felt like I had to guard myself. Yeah. But I've always been there for people. And it's like they say, you know, people say, well, Taurus and Bulls, that's my sign. They good people, yeah, don't cross me because it's a wrap.
So we're going to give a shout out to Miss JP CEO that could not be here with us today. And she was injured, but she's okay and not banged up too bad. She's still alive, so that's the most important thing. And she can plug her business here in the comments. So you guys, if you need flyers made, she's in entertainment. She has a few different hats and everything like that. So we are here, and we know you're here in spirit, lovely lady.
Thanks so much, so much.
And thank you for everybody tuning in to our video blog, Lay It on the Table, Know Your Position. Thank you to our lovely caterer, Miss Kim Summers Mosby back there. If y'all need a big caterer, this is your girl. She is thebomb.com. So a lot of the cooking you see me do, that's who I learned it from, and my mom. So we're going to end. Thank you guys. Oh, one last quote.
Well, it's actually not a quote, it's a poem, and it's something that I always like to end with. It's called Rock What You Got.
Rock what you got. We've been to hear it.
Perfectly crafted, we are all unique, from the top of our heads to the sole of our feet. Perhaps you're self-conscious, but you shouldn't be, when it's a God who took time to carve out who you would be. From your lips to your hips, from your eyes to your thighs, from the way that your body sways to the elements that comprises who you are. We are all a star in our own right, but we have got to see this image with our own sight, because we look in the mirror and see imperfections, but God looks at us and see a perfect reflection, a perfect selection. So perhaps it is true that there is not a thing wrong with you. So own who you are, because you know that you're hot and you lack not a thing. So rock what you got.